In The Matrix, shortly after Neo starts investigating the true nature of reality, he finds himself at work receiving a package with a cell phone, receives a call from Morpheus, who warns him that they are after him. He has no time to explain it, but he invites him to listen to his instructions as to how he can get away from the agents that are storming his office in real time. And that is by getting to a windowsill and stepping out onto a scaffolding that is outside of the building. Just as Neo, however, listens to all of the instructions, gets out on the windowsill and is about to step on that scaffolding, this wind blows the cell phone out of his hand and scares him to the point where obviously we know that he did not make it onto the scaffolding, but instead was apprehended by the agents, brought in for interrogation, and a homing device was placed in his body. When we start looking into how we can get unstuck from the Matrix, our higher selves like Morpheus will lead us in the direction of how to make that happen. And even though we might listen up to a certain point, we may find ourselves standing on a ledge like Neo, having to make a definitive step in the direction of getting unstuck and stepping onto that scaffolding. So maybe that definitive step is giving notice to your employer of your last day of work or pulling the trigger on a coaching package. However, the more you stand on that ledge and you refuse to get on that scaffolding, understand that the agents are going to come in and pick you up. And the agents here is your ego. Your ego does not want you to step outside of your comfort zone. And so when you take a step in the direction of getting unstuck from the Matrix, it's not going to be easier for you. It's going to become harder until you make that definitive move, because the ego does not want you to upset the status quo. And when they pull you in for interrogation and they place that homing device in you, what that really means is the fact that it's just going to become harder and harder to get unstuck in future attempts. Notice also that the wind blew the phone out of Neo's hand and scared him out of stepping onto that scaffolding. External events in your life are also going to come in just before you make that definitive step and convince you that now is not the right time, because I have all of this busyness pop up, something else turned up, somebody is sick and needs my attention. Something is going to happen to scare you out of making that move. But understand that your external environment is also a reflection of your inner reality. And so even if you're scared, even if things in your external environment start making it look like now is not the right time, the thing to do is to understand that that is resistance. And what you need to do is not give into the resistance, but push through it. As Morpheus said to Neo, there's only one way out of this building. It's either on that scaffolding or in their custody. So either you push through the resistance or you give in to the fear of the ego. You decide.